What happened? A fan called him Angel Reese, so he confronted the fan, and then he was like, "Oh, the fan called me a woman." No, the fan. Well, technically, yes. The fan chanted Angel Reese at him. Like, that has to be one of the maddest things. And by the way,
during a recent Golden State Warriors road matchup, Draymond Green became entangled in a fiery exchange with a courtside fan, resulting in one of the season's most unexpectedly humorous moments. The entire scene unfolded when Green marched toward a spectator seated along the sidelines, closing the distance until he was practically in the person's face, while referees hurried over in an attempt to defuse the situation. The confrontation began after the fan repeatedly shouted, "Angel Ree," at Green, using the nickname as a taunt that irritated him enough to make him step away from the play and deal with the heckler directly. The chant referenced Angel Reese's well-known pattern of repeatedly missing layups and immediately grabbing offensive rebounds, a sequence fans often mock by describing it as missed layup, offensive rebound, missed layup, offensive rebound, and so on, something many consider the quintessential Angel Reese highlight, or more accurately, lowlight. As critics often point out, although Reese is undoubtedly talented, she has become known as a lowlight merchant, someone whose mistakes trend as much as her success, largely because she has repeated these sequences countless times. The fan who instigated the situation, introducing himself as Sam Green, was dressed in a black polo adorned with a Pelicans logo. He had been celebrating energetically after Draymond slipped while defending Herb Jones on a possession. As players began adjusting their positioning on the court, Draymond aggressively approached the cheering spectator, stopping just inches away as they exchanged heated words. The fan stretched both of his arms outward as officials stepped in between them. According to Sam Green, he began chanting Angel Ree because he watched Draymond repeatedly miss shots while securing rebound after rebound, a pattern he felt perfectly mirrored Reese's trademark low-light sequences. Even major news outlets reported on the altercation, describing how Draymond nearly pressed chest-to-chest with the fan during the road game. Sam Green told reporters that his chants were aimed at mocking Draymond for constantly missing attempts, recovering the ball, and missing again. He claimed it had nothing to do with Draymond's shot selection and everything to do with him repeatedly failing at the rim before grabbing his own rebound. This comparison referenced Angel Reese's signature style of play, continuously missing close-range shots while immediately snatching the offensive rebound for another attempt. The pattern has become so recognizable that Reese has even trademarked the term, "me-bound," referring to offensive rebounds gathered after her own missed shot. The repetitive cycle of bricking a layup, collecting the offensive board, missing again, grabbing another rebound, and continuing the sequence is now known as the Angel Reese Special. Reese executes this pattern more frequently than any player since Moses Malone, earning her a reputation as a dominant offensive rebounder despite her inconsistency finishing near the basket. As the altercation played out in the second quarter, referees quickly pulled Draymond away from the courtside spectator. During post-game interviews, when reporters pressed him about the confrontation, Green phrased it carefully. Instead of directly acknowledging that the fan had called him Angel Ree, he explained the heckler kept calling me a woman's name over and over again. He admitted that at first he found it humorous, but as it continued, the taunting eventually became irritating. When asked what the fan did once Draymond approached, Green said the spectator grew noticeably quieter after being confronted up close. The referee who broke up the interaction reportedly advised Green not to jeopardize himself by escalating things and reassured him that the officials would manage the situation. Draymond commended the referee for handling it well. Reese's me-bound trademark and her reputation as the greatest offensive rebounder of the modern era have become part of both her brand and the public commentary surrounding her. Although she benefits from the recognition and even profits from merchandise tied to the phenomenon, the term also fuels criticism. Her style of missing repeatedly before securing her own rebounds creates a dual identity. She is both a productive professional athlete and a frequent target of ridicule for her finishing struggles. Without her elite rebounding to compensate for the missed layups, her overall effectiveness would be significantly reduced. Draymond continued explaining that the official reminded him not to get himself into trouble and promised to take care of the heckler, advice he appreciated. When asked how he deals generally with disrespect on the road, Draymond said he actually enjoys hostile environments, because he and the Warriors usually silence opposing fans by winning. Although he acknowledged that this particular season had featured fewer road victories than usual, he emphasized that quieting an opposing crowd is always satisfying. He also noted that this crowd wasn't especially loud to begin with. The combination of Reese's high offensive rebound totals and her persistent struggles finishing at the rim creates a unique profile that makes her both highly effective and widely mocked. This is why comparing Draymond Green to Angel Reese functions on multiple levels. It implies gender-based ridicule while also criticizing inefficient, repetitive offensive sequences. For a player like Draymond, whose strengths lie in defense, playmaking, screening, and intensity rather than scoring, the comparison hits especially hard because it highlights the exact kind of offensive inconsistency he has shown at times. What makes the moment even more notable is not just the insult itself, but the fact that Draymond reacted. As someone known for towing the line with officials, opponents, and crowds, Green rarely allows fan heckling to pull him off the court physically. The Warriors winning the game also helped prevent the incident from escalating into a larger controversy. If they had lost, and if critics believed Draymond had been distracted by the exchange, the backlash would have likely been far worse. Officials chose not to issue a technical foul, noting that although Draymond approached the fan aggressively, he never crossed the line into behavior worthy of ejection. Over his career, Green has undoubtedly heard harsher comments in opposing arenas, yet there was something uniquely frustrating about being repeatedly compared to a WNBA player known for inefficient offensive repetitions. The interaction illustrates how modern heckling has evolved beyond simple insults. Now, fans use creative, basketball-specific comparisons that cut much deeper because they reference actual on-court tendencies. Calling someone Angel Reese after a sequence of missed shots and rebounds not only criticizes their performance but does so with basketball accuracy, making it harder for the player to dismiss without appearing overly sensitive. Interestingly, Angel Reese herself might find this situation either humorous or irritating. Her identity as a player has become so tied to both dominance on the boards and extremely visible low-light sequences that hearing her name turned into a heckling device for an NBA veteran may evoke mixed emotions. Yet nothing about this incident stops people from reporting on it, discussing it, or offering personal commentary, because it reflects how sports culture, fan banter, and player reputations intersect in real time.